Hello there, Patrick Gall here, President and co-founder of the ProCommerce Group of Companies, home to the ProCommerce Broker University and ProCommerce Capital, where we teach folks how to become established in their own business as investment real estate loan brokers, as well as providing innovative and creative funding sources for today's real estate investors. I wanted to take a time out to address the elephant in the room, the impending paradigm shift in the American economy. What's happening, what to anticipate, and what it all means to you. Whether you're a loan broker, thinking about becoming a loan broker, or you are a real estate investor, this message is for you. First and foremost, a quick disclaimer. I am not a certified financial analyst or economic expert of any sorts. I simply keep my ears to the rails while following what I consider to be a plethora of the right sources, so I can pass along useful content of high value. Most of what I share isn't coming from mainstream media. Instead, I rely heavily upon my nationwide network of direct lenders. You just can't get any closer to the source of good information than that when it pertains to this industry. Be that as it may, you should still always conduct your own due diligence to confirm the validity of any information you find, especially any that may influence your financial decisions. Finally, this message contains topics about what is happening right now today, as this video was shot. Some or all of the information herein could become outdated, as some of these topics are volatile and changing quite rapidly, some even on a day-to-day basis. All right, so let's dig in. Now, investors and brokers alike across the nation naturally have concerns as they try to make sense of what's going on in the market, as it seems to be, as I said, changing seemingly day to day. My aim here is to shed some light upon the factors that are contributing to this instability, insights into the housing market, and what this all means for both real estate investors and loan brokers. The post-pandemic monetary policy, along with a multitude of other factors, both here and abroad, here as in the U.S., have all come together to create market instability. For instance, an interesting observation is that we've gone from talking about the unemployment rate to now focusing on the labor shortage, which has reached the highest ever in recorded history of now over 5 million people. Then there's the oil prices causing gasoline to reach as high as $7.50 a gallon in some parts of the country, with the average across the nation expected to top at $6 a gallon this summer. Not to mention the rising cost of food lately, mostly caused by global supply chain issues. Have you seen the price of a Delmonico steak these days? And then there's the war in Ukraine. All of this has led America into an inflationary economy where the annual inflation rate in the U.S. unexpectedly jumped to 8.5% just last month, which is the highest it's been since 1981. To put it all in perspective, today it takes $3.22 to buy what a dollar bought back in 81. And the sad truth is, conventional savings hasn't kept up with all this inflation, as, for instance, bank CD rates were paying 8.3% back then, as compared to a less than 1% rate of return today. But let me get back on track here without diving into all these rabbit holes. Suffice to say, as a result of the current inflationary environment, the government has increased interest rates and continues to confirm their intent to raise rates further this year. And as we all know, interest rates typically follow the rise and fall of inflation. And as we approach the second half of 2022, there is much uncertainty regarding how the markets will evolve. What is certain, however, is that rates will continue to climb. Unfortunately, it's impossible to predict just how much they will rise. That really depends upon how the inflation moderates throughout the rest of the year and perhaps how the midterms play out this coming November. The bottom line is the day-to-day changes in the American and global economies have definitely created volatility in the markets for sure, especially since nothing has yet been put in place to regulate rising rates. In fact, I just recently saw a report where 68% of corporate CFOs are predicting a recession sometime soon, with 0% of the same group believing this will be unavoidable. So let's look at the housing market specifically. It's important to understand that the mortgage market is an important part of the economy because it affects both customers and investors. The last time rates increased by a full point was in 2018, not that long ago, jumping up to 4.5 or 4.9% from 3.9, which caused major slowdowns in the markets as well as a dramatic drop in house prices after only just a few months when they had reached their peak values. In fact, as of last week, the average 30-year fixed rate was at its highest since 2009, and we all know that means potential trouble ahead of today. Now, while mortgage rates are still at a historical low, the recent increase is a huge jump from where they were just last year. There's an underlying problem being created here that as home prices have been steadily increasing, rising rates are beginning to create affordability challenges for home buyers. What all this means is the frenzied pace we've been experiencing in the housing market is expected to slow down dramatically. Remember, as I said, soon. According to traders at Zillow, there are over 1 million homes on the market. However, new household formations continue to outpace the housing supply, and new housing starts are just still below what is needed to make up the shortfall of housing supply. Now, while analysts are optimistic that inventory will remain slightly ahead of last year, it will still be at record lows and certainly nowhere near back to normal. To this day, the housing market continues to struggle and recover from the crash in 2007, but even still, it does continue to move in the forward direction, albeit at a slow pace. The good news is we are unlikely to see another crash as impactful as then due to more government regulation in the mortgage industry. I know, I'm grinning because to hear the words good news and government regulation in the same sentence these days is an oxymoron, but let us not forget that a major contributor to the housing crash back then was unregulated lending practices. It was literally the wild, wild west. I mean, cats and dogs were getting home mortgages for Pete's sake. But simply put, we can all take respite in knowing that the unscrupulous lending practices of that era just don't exist today and shouldn't be an issue. So the median house price of a single-family home today in America is anywhere from $374,000 to $415,000, depending upon which report you read. Even at the low end, this is a huge contrast to the average median house price of about $172,000 just a decade ago. And what is certain is that pricing continues to climb. Now, economists are expecting that number to grow by about 10% this year, mainly due to the shortage of homes in the market, and many analysts are forecasting that we can anticipate seeing these changes as soon as the first part of next year. So, what does all this mean for real estate investors and the loan brokers that serve them? Well, first of all, folks, step away from the panic button. Look, nobody wins in a panicking market. And if there's two groups that have a huge combined influence on economic trends, it's real estate investors and lenders and the brokers that work with them. So simply accept the fact that things have changed and will continue doing so through the balance of this year and onward. The bottom line, the days that have been fueled by a flat or low interest rate environment are simply over. We still expect strong home price appreciation, buyer demand, rental rate increases, and demographics that support real estate investors. But given all the uncertainty out there, capital is simply going to cost more money these days. And just as with any period of uncertainty, real estate investors should shore up their strategies and their business models and focus on executing the things that they do best. And the loan brokers that serve them should seek to provide solutions that meet these changing demands head on. Those who are best prepared will be best positioned to jump on opportunities as they emerge. In this inflationary time, real estate should provide a hedge against inflation, as both rents and property values are highly correlated with rising consumer prices, which is driving the increased demand for rental properties. Savvy real estate investors are already planning ahead by adopting and implementing a build-for-rent strategy. And thanks to the buying power of ProCommerce Capital, we have access to some very aggressive new construction funding solutions designed specifically for the real estate investors with this strategy in mind. So, whether you are a current ProCommerce broker partner or have been considering joining our team, our pledge to you is rock solid. We are going to continue focusing on broker growth with continuing education and innovative tools and resources, all designed to help you shift with the upcoming paradigms to ensure you are positioned for success. To our investor clients, this is just as rock solid, as this means providing the absolute best funding solutions available to meet the needs of every qualified investor on an individual basis. In other words, we will strive to present only the solutions that make sense, and will do so with the utmost honesty, integrity, and transparency. This includes fair and honest pricing. In other words, we refuse to follow the many in times like these, and absolutely will not engage in any price gouging activities whatsoever. Furthermore, we will manage our lender relations with a high level of scrutiny while maintaining a watchful eye in the marketplace and refusing to become complacent. We will maintain an insatiable appetite for strong, reliable, and aggressive lenders, but will never jeopardize our integrity in the name of profit. We are committed to being a consistent and reliable capital source for our community of broker partners and real estate investors across the nation, one that you can depend on regardless of the environment, like we did throughout the entire COVID-19 period when we were able to provide funding solutions when others couldn't. In fact, it was our forward-thinking approach that not only carried us through the C-19 era, but contributed to our exponential growth. The reason being, we only work with lenders that continue to focus on innovating their products as well as their financing structures to provide consistency of capital and competitive rates. Ultimately, your success is our success, and we're here to support you, our brokers, and our clients alike. And we will stop at nothing to ensure a world-class service with value second to none. So, to wrap up, just as bad deals can occur in good times, our experience has proven that with the right network in place, we are able to execute on good deals in challenging times. And in an environment with outsized demand for housing, savvy real estate investors will continue to find opportunities despite challenging external factors. Remember this: go as far back in time as you wish. Well, maybe not as far back as the Ice Age, but you get where I'm going here. American economic history has proven over and over again that it never matters what the state of the economy is, whether it's inflationary, depressed, recessed, or in the case of COVID, sick. Three things have always and will always remain constant. Someone will always be selling real estate, someone will always be buying real estate, and someone will always be renting real estate. In other words, real estate never stops moving no matter what. And finally, what keeps it all in play is that because the savvy real estate investor understands the power of leverage and therefore will always be in the market for innovative and creative funding solutions to stay in the game. And because of that, someone will always be providing funding solutions. I know we will. So there you have it, folks. I'm Patrick Gall, and on behalf of the ProCommerce Broker University and ProCommerce Capital, we wish you all good fortune as you work to grow your businesses, whether providing much-needed affordable move-in ready homes and rental housing for millions of Americans all across this great nation, or bringing to market the innovative and creative funding solutions to make it all possible. And if you are a real estate investor, obviously we know you have a lot of things to worry about. Look, finding the right funding solution shouldn't be one of them. So put us to work for you today and make your offers with total confidence. We'll take it from here. You can find us at procommercecapital.com. Now, if you've been thinking about getting into the loan brokering business, you should take a look at our platform where we provide all the right tools, all the right sources, with all the one-on-one coaching, mentoring, and support you could possibly ever need to succeed. Join us today and dare to soar. I'll drop a link in the comments below. Well, thanks for watching, and please take a moment to like this video and share it so that others can benefit from seeing this timely information before it becomes outdated. And feel free to drop us a few lines in the comments. We love your feedback. All right then, folks. Thanks again for tuning in, and make it a great day.